Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. So I have something that actually I've seen it in a few different ESL companies classes. I just want to talk about it. A very short, quick vocabulary game that is excellent for, I'm going to take these off because I'm getting some glare, that is excellent for seeing what the students know, helping them think, warming their brains up. So I've seen it at least 2 companies that I know of, I'm sure, but it can be used across all companies, all ESL. So simple. So here's how it is. You start by giving the student a word, like fat. This is the one that was actually in the lesson. Fat. They take the last letter T and they start the next word. Tip. P. Pepper. All right, so my student continued it. River, rate, eat, try, yellow, and all we did was look for the last letter. Ignore the fact that I didn't capitalize that, but you get the idea. You take each letter and do it. So this is great for an extension tool. Let's say that you've really hurried through a lesson. All I did was write down the words as he said them. I gave him this one. Just show him an example. He continued. So you can write down the words for them. You can make it a competition between you and the student. Think of the hardest word you can think of. I've done that with students before. But all it really takes is either a whiteboard, or if your company has it where you can write on the screen, you can write it on the screen, and you just continue the chain. It makes them think. Like coming up with, when he came up with try, he had to give me a word that starts with Y. So it wasn't just the normal R, E, T, and W. He came up with waste. That's a great vocabulary word, waste. You can also ask them, he came up with hi. So I asked him which spelling. Is it hi hello or hi as in high in the sky? So it gets them to think, because some words are spoken the same, but we spell them differently. He told me it was hi, like hello. It's a great extension at the end of a lesson. It's a great warm-up at the beginning of a lesson. It's a great way to practice vocabulary words in a lesson, have them thinking, make them do it with vocabulary words if there's enough options, or have them pull in vocabulary words during it. So there's so many ways you can incorporate this. Like I said, you throw out a word and they have to continue the chain with the word you give them. You can give them hard words. Some words, some letters are harder to think of an option. Like if you somehow, I don't think you could end a word with Q, but there's probably a word out there that ends with Q. That's a great starting word. Think of something that starts with Q. Another option for a vocabulary game that's fun is just what I just said. Give them a letter, like let's go with Q. That's a hard one. All right, so you can write the Q on your board. All right, so let's think of all words to start with Q. Do they give you maybe quiet or queen? So you could keep going on this. Quarter. You get the idea. You can do that. Maybe you're working on phonemes or digraph blends. Let's say TW is your letters. What words can we think of? Twin. Twirl. So there's lots of twist, right? There's lots of ways you could do this vocabulary game. Just giving them a letter. This is a excellent extender if you're in a class that just not enough material to cover the time and you don't want to just... Okay, so one way we extend is to pepper the kids with questions. That gets really redundant, really boring, especially if they have a lot of teachers. So yes, you can have them you can ask them questions. That's always a great way to get to know your student. But if it's a student you've had a lot, pull a vocabulary game. Have them think of all the words that start with a letter. Have them connect one letter to the next word, to the next word, to the next word. So many ways to extend in a class, in a lesson that is educational. One other idea is have them ask you questions. You can hold an object. I'm thinking of an object that is soft, red and yellow. So then they have to ask you, well, is it this? Is it that? Oh, no, it was Santa Dino. So you could have them, you could hold something and they could try to guess what you're holding. That's another great extension idea. Show them something funny. What color? What kind of face is it making? What do you see on it? What's different? What's different? So there's lots of ways you could incorporate props, rewards, compare and contrast. So many ways to extend. But I love the vocabulary idea because you're building the vocabulary. And what parent's going to get mad that you're making them think in English? All right, let me know what reward ideas you have, what extension ideas you have. Not reward. Sorry. How do you tie in rewards with extension? What extension ideas do you use the most in your classroom? What vocabulary games do you incorporate to help your students grow? And I'll see you next time. Bye.